I'll do an expired. I think honestly, I feel like you've nailed your phone calls. I feel like you should do a listing presentation.
Eh.
It's a good sign. You should do it.
Oh God, I'm not getting this presentation. Ooh, that's bad. Yeah, we can do a listing presentation. Okay, so let's do. Oh my God, I have to go over my notes. So we can do a call. Yeah, that's not good. So we'll do a call for you first, and then we'll do listing.
Oh, I'd love to. Let me pull up the script and the objection handlers. This is gonna be a bad Tuesday. No.
All right. All right, let me know when you're ready.
All right.
Wow.
All right, I'm ready. You ready?
Yes.
All right, expired call. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, is this Dominique?
Yes.
Hey, Dominique, this is Evan. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm sure you know you've gotten a bunch of phone calls already that your house just came off the market today. I'm calling because I'm confident that I can sell your house, and I'd like to meet with you for just about 20 minutes and show you exactly what I do differently to get houses sold in today's market. Would 3 o'clock work for you today, or would 4 be better?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have problems getting the house, selling the house. It was more so like we received a ton of offers, but we just decided to keep it because, yeah, we just decided to keep it.
Okay, gotcha. So when are you, so are you going to keep it off the market then?
Yeah, we think so. We were going to plan to move down to Salt Lake, but the rent we'd be paying more in rent than the mortgage here, so.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you think, when do you think you might put it back up for sale?
I mean, if we were able, I mean, I don't see us being able to put it back up for sale because I don't know. I don't see us being able to find a place in Salt Lake that'll be less than our mortgage.
Okay, gotcha.
And yeah, and
Maybe-
we're really, it just doesn't make sense. We're here. Yeah.
You had the option to, so I chose not to. That makes sense. If you don't mind me asking, what makes you want to move down to Salt Lake City?
So I just wanted to be closer to my family, honestly.
Okay.
They're down there and yeah, I just wanted to be closer to them. And then I was kind of getting, like all my friends have moved. So it's kind of like, it would just make more sense for me to move down there. But I guess I can just stay here. It doesn't matter because
Yeah, so it sounds like you don't want to buy down there, but the rent's pretty expensive and it's just going to keep raising up. So that makes sense. Let me ask you this. Are you content with staying here up in Ogden and not moving down to Salt Lake City just indefinitely?
I mean, at this point, I don't really have a choice, so I mean, I guess.
Okay. Yeah,
repeat and approve.
Repeat and approve. I'm scrambled. Oh, okay. So you're pretty much just set on sitting here then. That makes sense. There are, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so I think that's a conversation where it would be, you kind of have to listen to what I'm saying and then like also listen to what I'm really saying.
Okay, what are you saying?
Yeah, because what I'm really saying is, in my mind, I want to be in Salt Lake City, but I don't know, but there's a problem that I've had in my head is how am I going to do it if the rent is more there than is my mortgage? So I'm like, so when I said, oh, I'm content, so that's kind of like, that's one of those questions where you don't want to, you led me down to a path to say yes. You know what I mean? So you don't want to ask those types of leading questions. Potentially a better question would be like, listen, Dominic, it sounds like in an ideal scenario, your preference was to move to Salt Lake City. Is that correct? And I'd be like, yeah, that's correct, but it just didn't work out. And so then I would say, okay, so again, if there was a way where you could move to Salt Lake City and find a place that is less than your mortgage, because there are ways to set that up, whether you're buying a house or even a potential rental scenario, would you still be interested in selling the home? Because you want to kind of like hint that you're able to solve their problem. That's kind
Okay.
of, yeah.
Okay, I think my issue is I was actually trying to solve the issue. That's why I was asking if you're like, if you're content, if you're not going to ever move down there again, I don't know what to do. But if you are going to move down there at some point, there's not a better time to do it. Sell your price, sell your house the highest. Well, the rent's just going to go up from here. But yeah, I think I'm just trying to solve the issues on the phone with them.
Yeah, you don't, and that's the thing, you don't need to solve the issue. You just need to you need to get them to the point where you're basically pitching like, I'm capable and willing to help you solve this issue. I just need to so you're more like diagnosing, like a doctor, you know what I mean?
Okay.
If again, you could move, all financials aside, if you could move to Salt Lake City, would that be your preference? And then, so you ask questions like that to get to the real motivation. Yeah. Cause some people, and she talks about this a lot, where some people, they'll when people make up their mind on a decision, and especially if they're talking to someone that they don't know, they'll kind of be closed off and yeah. And so they won't really share their true motivations. And so you kind of have to keep digging. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. It sounds like, I mean, yeah, diagnosing instead of prescribing, and then save the treatment, the prescription for the appointment. It sounds like, right?
Exactly. You're just diagnosing, and then so you're pretty much like a doctor trying to diagnose, and then lead me to come to the office and go to an appointment, and then go from there.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, I mean, I just need to translate the for sale by owners, you know what I mean? That kind of mentality over to the expired.
And it's very similar. For the financial, for the FSBOs, it's financial benefit. And then for the expireds, it's whatever benefit that they were looking for. Yeah. So there's a little bit more flexibility. Okay. And then do you want to role play? Kind of with that in mind, do you want to role play the too much work to move one?
Okay. Yeah, I got that. All right. So you just want to give me the objection? Okay, we'll just 1 second. Let me pull it up. All right. Ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Dominique.
It is, yes.
Hey, Dominique, this is Evan. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm sure you know by the phone calls you've been getting that your house came off the market today. And I'm calling you today because I'm confident that I can sell your house. And I'd like to meet with you for just about 20 minutes and show you exactly what I do differently to get houses sold in today's market. Would 3 o'clock work for you, or 4 be better today?
Evan, that's fine. That's okay. We have the property in the market. It would sell, but we just decided to keep it. It's just too much work.
I understand. I mean, it is definitely, it's not a stress-free process of moving. I understand. Yeah, I feel you there. So let me ask you this: if there were a way where there were an easier way to move, if you don't mind me asking, where were you headed to?
We were just gonna go down to Salt Lake.
Okay, gotcha. If there were a way where we're easier to move to Salt Lake City, where there was a lot of things that were done for you, so you didn't have to do all of the moving, where it was made as stress-free and seamless as possible, would that kind of take care of that issue and get you in the ideal spot you want to be in, which is in Salt Lake City?
I mean, it obviously, if we're looking to, we're not going to pay a bunch of expensive movers. Obviously, that's
a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So we were going to do the work ourselves. But then again, it's too much work. So at this point, I'm not going to pay $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 for a mover. I'd rather have that money. I'd rather just stay here.
Yeah, no, and you're up here in Ogden, so it's not. I mean, it's a bit of a drive, so it's a big move, and it wouldn't be the cheapest. I understand that.
Yeah.
A little bit of prescribing here. So yeah, that makes sense. And if I were in your position, I wouldn't want to be paying for thousands of dollars for movies either. One thing I do as a real estate agent is when I help sell my clients sell their houses, I actually help pay for their moving. So that would be something that I would do for you, just as a kind gesture for working with me. So that way, moving wouldn't be such a big process. Yeah, you're still going to have to physically move yourself and I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But the moving companies, they're going to pack things up for you. They're going to put things in the truck. They're going to move them for you. And I try to make things as seamless as possible, as easy as possible. I don't want it to be a struggle for you to move like it is for most people. How does that sound? That was a horrible close.
Yeah, that was trying. Go back to the meeting, close for the appointment.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I don't like when my client, when I sell their house, that's just half of it. I don't want them to have to go to the second half of moving to be this whole logistics issue. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to sit down with you for about 20 minutes today and show you exactly what I do, not only to sell houses, but also to help my clients move. It's only going to take about 20 minutes. And at the end of the appointment, if not, that's totally, if you decide to work with me, that's totally fine. And if not, we'll split our separate ways and blah, 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 horribleness. So would 3 o'clock today work, or would 4 be better?
You know that, I mean, that's kind of the first I've heard an agency that they've helped pay for the move, that they pay for it. So that's, yeah, you definitely have my interest. I think, yeah, I mean, if you want to come by at like 4, that'd be fine. We may not, I mean, I'm not gonna make any promises, to be honest, because we already talked about staying here. And I am like, if you're willing to pay for it, I mean, we'll just hear you out, but I'm not gonna sign anything yet.
Yeah, no, I actually get a little bit of a discount on the company that I work with because they were, well, I don't want to go there. They were an old boss at one point though, and they owned their own moving company, and I worked with them, so we're pretty close. So I'd love to come and sit with you. Yeah, I don't know why I'm still going there. I already have to close, but yeah. So would 3 or 4 work better?
Let's do 5. That would be better.
Let's do 5. Okay, we can do 5. All right, and then I understand, like you said, you don't want to sign anything. You still got a lot of decisions to make and things to clear up in your head with who you're moving with. So and just to prepare for our meeting at 5, I have a couple quick questions I want to ask you. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, I thought the whole you mentioning the moving company was good, actually. Kind of like, especially you dropped a very huge dangler with like, and I'll pay for it. And I was like, that definitely, like, the ears perked up, and I was like,
okay.
Wait a minute. Yeah, because I don't think a lot of agents would do that.
Some do, some don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here in Utah, so it depends.
So I think that's good. Yeah, and then yeah, no, I thought that was good the way you handled it. Is that what you said in the call, or what happened in the call?
No, okay. I said, okay, goodbye, you know? Yeah, no, and actually, dude, like, yeah, my old boss's brother, their whole family owns a big moving company, so
oh wow,
works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, obviously I was trying to figure it out like during, like, while I'm talking to you, so
yeah,
talk to myself and figure it out at the same time. So
that's good. That's how it happens too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm sure you're excited to do your listing presentation.
I know. So I actually don't have Jackie's presentation. It's like a hybrid. So
okay, cool. Is it for sale by owner or expired?
It's expired.
Okay. What's the most common objections you get that you're worried about?
I've only been on like 3 listing appointments. The biggest one I got was commission, and it's always pricing, to be honest. It's been pricing. So
okay.
Yeah.
Is that after you go over the CMA then, right?
It is, yeah, it's after I go over the CMA. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we can role play. I don't, because it's a long ass presentation. So let me.
I took up like freaking 45 minutes last time. So. And my pen's missing again. One second. Different pen.
Okay. Okay, it'll be short because we're not actually going to go through the CMA. Okay, so.
Okay.
Ready? Okay. Hi, Evan. Thanks again for having me over. I'm excited to get your property on the market and getting it sold this time. Do you mind if I take a quick look around?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So I'm going to set my stuff down here at the kitchen table. I'm going to take 2 minutes just to walk the property and look at it through the eyes of the buyer, and then we'll meet back here. Okay?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right, Evan, again, thank you again so much for this opportunity. I really do appreciate it, and I am confident that I can sell your property like we talked about on the phone. Now, did you have a moment to review the marketing package that I sent to you ahead of time?
I saw it. I clicked on it. It looked like a lot of files, to be honest with you, so I didn't open them.
Oh,
So,
that I understand. No problem. It's definitely a lot of information and we'll definitely cover that too in our meeting. Now I've written down a couple of really important questions for you. And the first is, do you absolutely have to sell this property or this home?
I don't, I
You
don't,
don't.
I
Okay.
really would like to.
Okay, you really would like to. Okay. And so, okay, so you would really like to essentially, if you get the price that you're looking for, is that
Exactly,
okay?
exactly.
Okay, got it. And do you want to price your home to sell, or are you willing to keep it on the market for a longer period of time?
I would definitely like the price it to sell, but it has to, you know what I mean? It has to, I can't put it up on the market for 100,000 when it's worth 500. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you want to price it to sell, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you don't leave anything off the table and you get your money quickly.
Yeah, I'm
Correct?
not accepting anything other than top market. So,
Okay, absolutely. And then based on what you have seen, do you want me to handle the sale of the property for you?
so far you're doing all right.
Okay. And I appreciate that feedback. And I'll definitely try to earn your business by the end of our conversation. Now, what you talked about, no. Okay, so you would say the major concern then would be price and coming with a price to get your property sold. Is
Yeah,
that okay?
that's the
Okay.
big issue.
Got it. And I want to assure you too, Evan, at the beginning of this, before we kind of get into it, my sole goal here is to sell your property for the highest price possible in the least amount of time with the least amount of hassle. And if I'm able to prove that to you, you are and you would be willing to list your property today so we can get it sold. Is that right?
I'm not sure. I'm interviewing. I have another agent that's coming in later after you, and we'll see. We'll have to see.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. And so I definitely hear you. And I know you mentioned that on the call as well. And again, if I were able to show you and demonstrate how, and if I were able to show you and portray, oh God, what does she say? I'm like trying to think about what she says. Okay, and that's totally fair. And I completely understand that you did mention that on your call that you were having other agents come in. And at the same time, Evan, if again, you are as confident as I am that I can get this property sold in a shortest amount of time for the top market price, is that something that you would go ahead and list with me?
I think I don't know. I maybe I can't tell you. The I guess the thing that I'm more concerned about is this other agent said they're barely gonna charge me anything.
Okay,
So,
in terms of
um,
commission.
yeah, that's like if you can sell my house for top market, great. If they can too, but charge me less,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, and I see how you're coming to that. You're thinking that if you can get more money, at the end of the day, you want to walk away with the most money
Of
possible,
course.
correct? Absolutely. And what I'm hoping to share with you today is what I do differently in order to get property sold that will more than make up for my commission, no matter what it is that we do decide here. So I want to assure you that commission is something that is negotiated between you and I, and it's a conversation that we'll have once we go over the actual pricing and come to an agreement in terms of that. But you would have to admit, Evan, and you seem like a very smart guy, so you would agree that no matter what the commission is, whether it's 1%, 2%, 0%, no matter what happens, what's most important to you is to make sure that the person that's going to be representing you in front of buyers and is going to be negotiating legal contracts for you, you want to make sure that that is the right person and they bring the most value at the end of the day. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I assure you, I will portray and we'll talk about that value in more detail in this conversation. Now, when we talked, I had mentioned about things that I do differently, and I'll just really quickly go over those with what I do. So you have 99% of agents out there. What they do is what they call passive marketing. Have you heard of that before?
I think so.
Okay, got it. So you've seen it on TV or with other agents where they'll put a property on the MLS, they'll put out a sign, they'll run the open houses, and that's it. Kind of, that's the extent of what 99% of agents do. And exactly. And those things absolutely do work. And I incorporate those within my marketing plan as well. But what I do is I kind of take into the level of active marketing. Is that a term that you kind of come across before?
Maybe.
Yeah. So with active marketing, it's not commonly used among agents, but with active marketing, what I do differently is I am actually actively searching for a buyer for your specific property. And that means Monday through Friday between 8 and 12, that's 4 hours a day. I'm on the phone calling buyers and sellers to see who they know is interested in buying your property. That is my sole goal. I'm not there to find buyers for somebody else's property or find buyers for this house over there. My goal, because my specialty is listing specifically with sellers. So my goal is to find a buyer for your specific property. And that's what I do every weekday for 4 hours. And on top of that, what I also do is, because 93% of agents, 93% of buyers work with agents, I make sure that every single buyer's agent in this market, that they know that your property is listed for sale. And I personally invite the top 100 agents to come to our property and bring us a buyer. And that's something that a lot of agents, they simply don't do, because there's still, unfortunately, a lot of ego that goes into the game in real estate. And I kind of put that aside, and I'm like, my goal again is to get you top market price in the least amount of time with the least amount of hassle. So does everything that I covered in terms of that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and that's really the crux of my marketing plan. I can go into greater detail in terms of what we do in terms of personal property website. We have, of course, top-notch photography, videography. We pull out the red carpet when it comes to presenting your home, because that, especially in an online-driven world, that's what it takes to get your property sold. And that's something too that's included in our package that is completely within the commission that we will agree to later. Now,
well, so what is the commission then?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. So first, let's go. So do I want to bring this up first? No, I don't. I want to wait at price. So before we get into the commission though, let's kind of touch on price, because I do know that you mentioned that's the most important thing to you, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So now there are only two. Sorry, I'm like using the old script. Okay, so what I've done is I prepared what I like to call a market absorption analysis. And part one is what we jokingly call fantasy land. And that's where you have real estate agents that take a passive marketing approach. They pick any price, and they sometimes price homes too high, and they sit in the market and they don't sell. And that's, unfortunately, it leads to situations like we have right now. And it's not, and honestly, agents do the best that they can with the information that they have. But you also have this other component where you have professional real estate agents like myself, where we go deeply analyze the property and the local comparable properties to see what price it will take to get your property sold. And so I'm going to go ahead and share with you these market analysis. So this first property, okay, blah, blah, blah. So let's just say that you want to list your house for 500,000, and I'm saying we should do 415.
415 or 450?
450. 450. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do 450. Why it's not to the price? Yeah. Okay. So based on the data that we've seen, and based on these different properties that have sold, what do you think that a buyer would pay for your property? Not from what you think that it will. What do you think a buyer would pay for your property from their perspective, not from my perspective and not from yours necessarily? What do you think a buyer would see as value for your property?
I see the numbers that you brought here, and a lot of those, like I said, they do have similar features, but mine, I still believe it can get at least 500,000, possibly more, just with the updates that I've done and the work that I've put in, and especially remodeling the landscaping, the front yard and the backyard, and the kitchen. The kitchens, I mean, you can't get a kitchen like that unless you put in a lot of money. So
Yeah, and absolutely, and I completely agree. Your home is beautiful, and compared to all these different properties, I mean, these haven't been remodeled in over 5 years. So I definitely see your property standing out above those.
Good.
The thing at the same time, though, the thing is that we want to. The thing is, though, that at the same time that we want to market and sell your home based off those features and benefits, oh God, this is bad. Shit. Okay. Okay. At the same time, though, I'm just gonna like struggle through this.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay. At the same time, though, we want to make sure that if you'll remember, we had this property over here, and they had priced it at $480. And it did not sell after 6 months. So I can certainly list your property at 500,000. The thing that we risk, though, is not only selling this property and having it sit for a couple months again, but we also risk helping your competition sell their homes faster. Because from the perspective of a buyer, they're looking at any time 13 different properties that they're comparing and contrasting. And so if you can imagine from a buyer's perspective, if you're, let's just say outside of real estate, let's just say that you're buying a new computer, and you're looking at 13 different models, and all of the models are around the same price, have pretty much all of the same features, and then there's just that one model that's great. It has, I mean, double processor, a brand new cover, but it's priced $2,000 higher than all of the rest. Now, if you're not a gamer, would you see the value in purchasing that $2,000 more expensive computer, or would you kind of be gravitated more towards those other more average priced computers?
Well, most people would go for the average price computer, but like you said, the gamer would be willing to pay the extra for the extras. So like I am willing to price my house for that gamer that will specifically wants my house compared to the others.
You know, and that is absolutely true. And so here's two. So from the perspective of a gamer, if you're now so let's take this further. So if you do, and you are trying to attract that gamer, what do you think would draw their attention most to your computer, let's say, if it's priced the same as, because the other gaming computers, those are priced at like the same $2,000 higher. But if you bring your computer again down to the same price of an average computer processor out there, won't that get the attention of every single gamer out there? Won't they all be fighting for your property and creating that auction effect that we talked about earlier, and actually getting you bid up to that price close to 500,000?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and that's the effect that we really want to create for your home. We don't want to be priced just average of all the other specialty homes out there, because again, we want to make sure that we get all that attention fast. And the way that we can do that, and the way we can get the market to respond quickly, is by pricing it as you would with the homes that are comparable in the area so far.
Okay, that makes sense. I suppose I'm worried, what if we do price it with the other houses, and then we get off, and then I have to accept, you know what I mean? Those are the offers that we get, as if like the other house sold for 450, right? And we're placing mine at 450, even though mine should sell for more because it's better.
Right. Yeah.
I'm worried. So like now I'm locked in at 450. And then I just lost 50 grand.
And here's the thing, Evan, you are not locked in at 450. At no point and I'm confident too that I'll be able to sell your property for 450, if not more. absolutely confident, because we are still facing low inventory. And again, your home is designed for a special person who I do feel is willing to pay a premium. At the same time though, you are under no obligation to accept any offer that we do receive. And still, I'd be working for you to make sure that we do get that off, like the highest top price offer. So I'll present the offers to you, and you can just say at that point, you know what, I want to wait for the next offer to come. And then we keep going from there. And I am confident that within the first 30 days, we are going to find a buyer for that property.
Okay, I can see what you're saying, but I mean, just so you know, regardless of what we price it at, I'm not going to accept anything that isn't that I don't feel is acceptable.
Absolutely not. And I think that is something that I can hold us both to. If you don't want to accept anything that.
Actually, let me rephrase that to how an actual seller would say it. I'm not going to accept anything less than 500,000.
You're not going to accept anything less than 500,000.
I mean, maybe if something's close and it depends on the terms and conditions, but 500,000, that's my goal. That's what I really would like. And 450, like if you think it's best to price it at 450 to get up to 500,000, that we can, you know what I mean? I see, but I really am not planning on accepting much less than 500,000.
Okay. And you know what, that's completely fair. And I think the best strategy for us to get close to that number then would be to list it at 450. So again, we can create that huge market effect and have everyone really paying close attention to your home. That's the best strategy to get to that point, is if we were to price it at 450, which I confidently feel that in this market, we can kind of create that effect to get you closer to that 500,000. Does that sound fair?
So just to make sure I'm clear, so your intent is to price it at 450, not to get 450, but just to start the bid, or you know, so to speak.
Exactly. I'm going to treat this like an auction, and the starting bid, so to speak, is going to be the 450.
Yeah. Okay. It's like like I said, I'm just worried about being locked in at 450. But you said, you know what I mean, so.
Yeah, and again, you're not locked in at any situation. You're not going to be imprisoned by this price. It's just the price that, again, it's the price that I feel will help us make sure that you take the most money possible and you get the most money possible in the shortest amount of time. And at no point, again, will you have to, you don't have to accept anything. And yeah, you don't have to accept anything, and as it comes. I just want to assure you about that. Yeah.
That makes that. Yeah. I understand. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely good. It's just, you know, it's a lot to take in, obviously, and a lot to try to accept and process. Absolutely. So, yeah, so that's great. Honestly, you know, everything you're saying makes sense. So, yeah, I have my appointment with my next agent in an hour here. So, I'll meet with them, and after that, you know, I'll call you if I decide to go with you, or I'll go with them, or maybe I'll decide to interview more agents. I'll let you know. But you know, thank you.
So let's talk about commissions.
You're good.
Yeah, so let's talk about commission. So you had mentioned that you didn't want to pay a commission that was too high. So what commission did you specifically have in mind?
0 would be nice.
0 would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Evan. It will be 0 if we don't find that buyer that you're looking for who gets you close to 500,000. So that is a real number that is there. So if we don't find you a buyer, if I don't find you that specific buyer that you're looking for, it will be 0, and you will not be on the hook for anything. And we can part our ways. We can check back in 30 days. And if you feel that we're not moving in the direction that you want, we can part our ways, and it's 0 investment for you. Now, standard commission for me is 5%. And that's something that I share, not only my company, but also it is shared with the buyer's agent. And that's something that is needed, again, because 93% of buyers agents are out there, and 93% of buyers work with buyers agents, and we want to make sure that the agents are working for us and not against us. And that's really the key component to the commission. You want to make sure that you want to make sure that the buyers agents out there, they actually want to show your property, because if you imagine you're a buyer's agent, you're putting in a lot of work. You're showing maybe 50 homes on average to your buyers. And if you come across a listing, I don't know, I think you mentioned that these other agents were offering to pay to, we're offering 3% commission. I think you had mentioned that. Is
Yeah.
that correct? Yeah, they were offering 3% commission, which essentially means they would be offering buyer's agent 1.5% commission, which is below standard, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So that is below standard. So imagine from a buyer's agent's perspective, they're showing 50 homes. They've been working with a client for 3 months. Do you think that they'll really be motivated to show their client a house that is 1% less commission?
I guess not.
No.
I'm gonna switch things up on. So I guess let me make this next agent. They said they were gonna list my house. How much do buyer's agents normally charge in California? 2.5 or 3 or
2.5? Well, yeah, 2.5. Yeah.
2.5. So they said they were gonna do the 2.5 buyer's commission, and they were only gonna charge a flat fee of 2,000 for their side. So
Oh, okay.
so that side with this next agent I'm gonna be interviewing, they have that covered.
So they have that covered. And here's the thing, Evan, and I do want you to kind of think about this too. For $2,000, would you want to take on, would you consider the sale of your home a major financial investment?
Of course.
Absolutely. You have like $450,000 to $500,000 on the line right now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Would you really want to put all of that in the hands of someone who would actually make less than a fast food worker right now?
I mean, damn.
Let's be honest. Let's have an honest conversation. Where's the motivation there? Because you do have, think about it. You want to make sure that your biggest financial asset is protected. And I understand that the pricing at 2,000, it feels right. But at the same time, you have to think about what service you're getting at that price.
I get there definitely. It sounds like you do a lot more than what this agent would do. And I get they're not going to be doing all that probably, but at least they're getting my house on the MLS, right? I think they're going to be getting some photos. I don't really know what they're going to do until I talk with them.
Right. And absolutely. And they're going to do a lot of what we talked about earlier, which is that passive marketing component, which again, it helps to get property sold, and your property will sell at some point eventually. I have no doubt that getting your property on the MLS, it will sell eventually. The thing though is, do you want your property to sell eventually at some unknown date and time in the future, or do you want your property to be sold within the next 30 and 60 days? It's really, yeah.
Obviously better or faster would be better, but as long as you're getting me the price, that's what I'm more concerned about.
Exactly. And that's again, something that as soon as we sign this listing agreement, that's what my team and we're going to be focused on doing, is finding that specific specialty buyer to pay the premium for your property. And that's where, if we get started today, and that's something that we can get started today if you were to sign with me right
now. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to put the price at $450. My God, Evan.
Yo, how do you feel about it? I don't know. I liked it. That was nice. That was the Kevin presentation, right?
Yeah, I definitely know. I'm glad you asked, because I'm like, shit, I need to go back over this.
It's a good thing we're going over it, right?
Yeah, no, it's a good thing we're going over it. Yeah, I think there were some parts I was very tongue-tied, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, but that just comes with practicing it more, and that's not too much of an issue, right? So that just comes with getting owning the script, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I think, I just need to learn the script, and then what did you think? Because this is an old, so I'm using Tina Collins script and a bit of Jackie's script at the same time. Okay. So I don't know how it came across.
So I liked it a lot. It came, first of all, you seem very confident, especially when you're talking about what you do as far as the active marketing, things like that. That was very compelling, I'll say. And also you said some of the things I wrote down, like you said, your specialty is listing houses, and this is what you do because it's your specialty. That really, it's like, oh, okay, I should work with her because this is like, she's not just an agent, she's a listing agent it's going to do this for me. That's what she's going to focus on. She's going to go out there and do that for me. So
Okay.
that makes sense. And also the top 100 agents, it is an ego thing. I can't say that, man. Good for you. Good for you. That really caught my eye too. It's like, oh, and like when you said like, I'm gonna put the ego down and like do what I can to get your house sold. You know what I mean? It's about you, not about me, basically.
Okay.
That really was really nice. Let's see here. One thing I think you could have, when you were talking about price and like you were trying to say like, what would you like to, what would you want to price your house at looking at these? I think a good word to use there is unbiased, that I think I've heard Tina Call and Kevin Ward used. What's an unbiased, right? Blah, blah, blah. What the hell did that mean? I don't know what my word's saying. But also when you were talking about, when I said, 0%, and you were saying 0% is an option, this, to me, it came across like you were saying it was almost, you were coming across as almost certain, your confidence was almost certain that it will be 0% because the house isn't going to sell. You're saying it will be 0%. You know what I mean? That's what it came across to me, as if you were all like the house not selling was a serious option. You know what I mean? That was an actual option that I might not have you might not charge me any money because the house might not sell.
Oh,
does that make sense?
Ooh, yeah. That makes
So
sense. Okay. Yeah, okay. I like didn't even catch that, but I see. Okay.
but yeah, the way you handled the objection as far as the fast food worker, that was really good. And I would have stuck with that a little bit longer.
Sorry, stuck with what?
The fast food analogy and
Okay.
how much you get what you pay for, that type of thing. I would have stuck with that a little bit more. And then I think I threw in one more thing, and then we started talking about like how long it's going to take to sell. But that wasn't something I was too concerned with. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I would have stuck with, you know what I mean? You're really paying for a fast food worker here. That's what you want.
Okay.
That kind of thing. And there's plenty of those fast food workers out there if that's what you want,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really good. That really, yeah.
Okay. Got it.
But yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from that.
Okay. Okay, good. No, that was good. That was a good warm up. I'm like, okay. It's good
Yeah.
motivation to like study this again.
Are you still focused on your the dual listing you have?
Yeah, so she's supposed to fund today and we're supposed to close tomorrow. So I know, I'm like, we're so close, knock on wood. So I'm like, yeah, so today I'm probably gonna make like a few phone calls, but then I'm still like, I don't know. I just want to like get this to the finish line. And then, yeah, I think that's like my main thing.
That's good. Do you think you're gonna start making phone calls and like setting listing appointments after that's all cleared out of the way?
Yeah, I definitely am. I'm literally like, oh my God, like I need to get back to, like, I couldn't, when she says like, you still make phone calls every day, like you have to make phone calls every day. Like, I was just like, damn, like that's like a month of like not making calls. Like it was worth it, but at the same time, I'm like, shit.
No, I mean, personally, I'm gonna be the same way. You know what I mean? Assuming I do get my first listing, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna like sit down and be like, okay, every day, focus on the listing, forget the phone calls. You got this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. So yeah.
So, but yeah, that's exciting. That's really exciting. That's gotta be super fun.
It is.
And stressing, but
yeah, stressful but good. Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably gonna make a few phone calls, and then once 9 o'clock hits, I'm probably gonna like try to put the finishing touches on this. So
okay, nice. Yeah, I'm gonna go hop on the I don't know if you've tried joining those Zoom, like the prospecting groups. I did that yesterday. It was pretty nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it gives me more of a rock, I guess, an anchor, you know what I mean? So like, okay, I'm gonna be there. There's people expecting me to be there, kind of thing. It keeps me to my schedule. And I get to hear other people talk too, and they get to hear me and correct me and things like that too. So it's almost like role playing in a way, you know what I mean? Or maybe a different way.
Wait, so you call while you're on the Zoom and they hear like audio is on?
Yeah, so I guess I was like confused about that too. So everyone just leaves their mic open, and when you're on the phone call, you can just mute your computer or,
Okay.
mute everybody or whatever. And then, you know what I mean? But if you decide to unmute your computer, you can just hear people talking. There's only like 3 or 4 people in the group. So it's just one person
Okay.
talking at a time usually.
Okay.
So that's usually how it works.
Wow.
I think.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna go hop in there, if you want to make some phone calls. And then the Jackie meeting too. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll make some appointments and hopefully set some appointments today.
Nice, do it. Yeah, how's your listing? How was your last appointment that you made with business?
I forgot to pre-qual it. It was my first appointment. I said in like 2 weeks, and I forgot to pre-qual it. Like it's hard. So I called them back like an hour or 2 hours before, and they didn't answer. And when I showed up, it was I think I could have gotten the listing if I did pre-qual it, but I didn't try to force it when I was there. I don't know. I'm trying to like force myself to reap the mistakes that I made. If I would have pre-qualified it, you know what I mean? I got to learn my lesson. So
yeah.
We have another appointment set for next Monday after they go and look at a house in a different state on the Saturday before that. So we'll see. We'll see. They really, honestly, they were the best people I've ever sat down and talked. They were so chill. They were like, I don't know. They were just amazing. So we'll see if that goes anywhere.
That's awesome. Nice. All right.
So,
yeah. So you did the in-person pre-qualification.
Yeah, I tried. I didn't want to push it too much, but yeah, I did.
Yeah. Hey, like you said, that's how you learn. So.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Awesome. I'll see you later then.
All right. See you later.
Bye. Bye.